Straight Outta Compton. So Straight Outta Compton is the story of the N.W.A. and their rise and fall through hip-hop history. For those of you who don't know, the N.W.A. is considered hip-hop and rap's most notorious and violent rap group ever. It contains the members Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, and MC Ren. More often than not, I'm pretty sure you've heard of some of those names, at least Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E. And the film that comes out, it mainly features Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E as they go about their daily life stories and how they came from nothing to basically become this very, very big rap group that has basically laid the groundwork for so many other rappers, specifically on the West Coast. They all come from Compton, California, and based on what you're seeing, it's not a pretty place. It's not really the nicest place at all. Hell, in real life it wasn't a nice place, and it's just been so rocky and edgy, and the film does actually do a good job of telling people exactly what their environment is like and why they act the way they act, and where they got their modern rap influences from. I'm pretty sure you've all heard of the group. Well, I'm pretty sure you've all heard of the song Fuck the Police. There's definitely moments where they're actually being treated bad by the police, and that's where they get their motivation from, and then they have their ideas and stuff. What was actually really good about this is especially Ice Cube's character, who's being played by O'Shea Jackson Jr., who, unsurprisingly enough, is actually Ice Cube's son in real life. For me, I actually thought it was the real Ice Cube playing his son on the screen when I saw the trailers, and then I had to look it up and realize, oh shit, that's his son, who looks exactly like him, and acts like him too, right down to the vocal cords, even when he's wearing the Jerry curls. Eazy-E is supposedly the funny guy in the group because he's the one cracking jokes more often than not, and maybe having a hard time rapping at first. Naturally, when you're in the middle of the movie, there's tons of song lyrics going down, and you can't help but want to jump in and start citing the song lyrics yourself and start rapping. I was at the movie theater when I saw this, and that really didn't happen. I mean, there were a bunch of people mouthing the rap lyrics to all their songs to themselves, but for the most part, you can't help but get a little pumped up every time you hear songs like Straight Outta Compton or Fuck the Police or Cruising Around in My 6'4", or any of that stuff. Also sprinkled throughout the film were a bunch of real-life artist cameos. Not necessarily the actors themselves or the rappers, but just cameos of other big-name artists who came from all of this, and a whole bunch of other references. And I have to hand it to this film, because when it needed to be funny, it was funny. When it needed to be serious, it was serious. But when it was emotional, it was very emotional. Not to give anything away, but there's a couple of scenes in this movie that had people straight up clutching their chests out of, like, sadness. I wouldn't call it a spoiler, but anyone who knows the history of N.W.A. and some of their things knows exactly what that moment is. So, it is a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. It's actual history. So, it's probably a dead giveaway of what that is, so I'll let you decide for yourself. If I have one thing to complain about, it's the fact that the movie did leave out some things about their histories. It's not 100% accurate, but as with biopics and most historical movies, it's not always 100% accurate to the point, because there are some things they don't include, and most people probably have figured that out by now. There's some things they left out or changed. And given the fact that Ice Cube and Dr. Dre both produced this movie, I can understand that. I mean, let's face it, at some point they did some really not nice things to people, and so they've changed a lot, but they probably don't want that in the movie, so they probably asked the director, F. Gary Gray, to like maybe not include that. Just like kind of keep that on the down low. Though I do think some of those instances are alluded to when they talk about smaller things in the film, so I don't know. Overall, Straight Outta Compton was a good flick. Actually, it was a great flick. I enjoyed myself. The acting was perfect. The environment was perfect. The tension was perfect. The reality of it behind everything was perfect for the most part. Completely accurate. Maybe, maybe not. But definitely a good summer flick. It actually surprised the hell out of me how good this was, to the point where I was actually starting to bump some of their old tracks in my car. And for that reason alone, that's why I'm giving this movie a gold ribbon rating. So, Straight Outta Compton, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, leave me a comment below and tell me how you feel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my Twitter at AsteroidMike. Don't forget to check out my blog. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel while you're at it. You can click on the subscribe button below or on the very next slide. And as always, I will see you around.